My name is Beverly McCarthy, and I started, I think, in '52. In grade 9, we were the so-called first grade 9 ever to attend Kelvin. Prior to that, I went to Robert H. Smith, which was then junior high for 7 and 8, and then went to Kelvin in 9. Yes, I had a phenomenal English teacher, Miss McCarthy. She was very robust, very much a character, a bit of a rogue teacher in many ways, and she just made me love literature more. And I helped a lot of my friends with English. You know, in those days we helped each other because we weren't competitive. There just wasn't that need to be a genius all the time and get top marks. It was a totally different environment. Nowadays everybody is ultra competitive. They're just, well, as you know, yeah. Well, there were fewer of us. Everything was handed to us. Whatever jobs we wanted were ours, and everything was just handed to us. There were fewer. When the baby boomers were born, there was 9 million per capita in Canada, 77 million in the States. Things started to jam up a bit. But in our era, just prior to that, there just weren't the number of people looking and needing, needing resources and jobs. Well, of course, rock and roll, Elvis Presley, as you might suspect. The music was incredible. Whatever was going on at the time, we had great school dances and a school king and queen, as I recall. That was a big sort of event, and people just had fun flirting and liking the guys, and the girls were separate in separate rooms, which you may have already heard. And so it was a big deal to get out in the hallways and move from room to room, which we did for different classes, and see somebody cute, right? So that was a big deal. Yeah. The biggest event for me, and I think for a lot of us, was the tragic death of our French teacher, Freddie Gilbert. He died, I think, driving to Portage La Prairie in a car accident, and we were completely devastated. There was a lot of stuff about nuclear fallout, and I'm very involved politically. I've run for political office in Manitoba, but in those days it was all about the commies and the nuclear fallout and people dying from building fallout shelters and things of that sort. But events were as pervasive and menacing as they are now vis-a-vis the terrorists, and it's just, we had that, you've got this. Well, it was just enormous fun. We were laid back. We weren't in this drive to impress or succeed. Nobody seemed to care. But everybody had those internal mechanisms to do what they wanted to do. And I think times were easier. They weren't as frazzled. People had more time for each other. Don't be so competitive, really. Just do your best, and don't worry so much about beating the other guy out or gal out. I have a 21-year-old granddaughter who's at Mount Allison, and I know all about these current pressures. They're incredible.